Alright guys, welcome back to the channel and to the garden. In today's video we're just going to be doing a waterfall build. I'll give you the kind of all the steps that I go through to build it, show you the process as we go. You can just see a little sneak peek of it here. We're going to be using the Biling 80w wired pump. This is the 4,500 liter or 1,200 gallon pump, and what we'll do is just jump straight into the build. So I just want to show you here where we're going to be adding this next waterfall. This one's going to be kind of like the main feature for the area. This plan's kind of evolved over time. It wasn't originally in the plans to do this, but looking at the area, I find it could add just that little extra pop here. So basically what we're talking about, if you can see this little plant here that's got the purple flowers, we're going to be adding a waterfall. It's coming just down on the other side of the tree fern, down here, and straight down in. Now, when looking at this, part of the reason for wanting to do this, as you can see here, as I kind of slowly step back to show you kind of the viewing ratio. Now, if I'm looking out my kitchen window, this is kind of the angle that I see everything here. Now, as you can see, this one's just off to the side, gets a little bit hidden. This one over here, again, a little bit hidden. I want something a bit more dramatic coming down the middle. But also, when planning this here, of course, is to account for other areas of the garden. So again, when you're planning your water features, it's always good to kind of look at different areas where you might be viewing from, where you're going to be the most when you're out in the garden, and that can help you to kind of position the different waterfalls and things like that. I find planning is really important at this stage to kind of get it how you like. So I just want to show you all that before we started breaking ground here, and we'll just kind of show you the process as we go along. With this one, I'm going to be using the Gorilla Foam, so we're going to use the expanding foam on this as opposed to the concrete. Finally found a new source for that. So again, as I've usually say in my waterfall build videos, if you can use the foam, it is a kind of more easily malleable, easy to use, dries quicker, and again can give you a pretty good seal within a couple hours. But with that said, just going to kind of show you the process as we go along and start kind of preparing the area and kind of getting our sort of first stones and things like that. So you can see first kind of steps of the process, we removed a little bit of the rock, starting to kind of make a little bit of a channel coming up there. You can see the rocks we pulled out just here. What I'll do is just take you this way, and you can just see what we're looking at when we're looking sort of top down on it. So again, another viewing area here from sort of the jungle bar. So right here is kind of where that waterfall is going to start, just in here. I'm going to make it again like this one and try to do it so that it looks and appears as if it's coming out of this top waterfall here. So just in this little patch here is where we're going to start our sort of pooling area, which is then going to fall back down into the pond there. Just to show you the first kind of initial dig, maybe a bit hard to see on camera, we'll go around and take a look, but you can see we've got kind of one step, two step, and we're just about to kind of do the third step there. If we come around this way, I'll be able to see it a little better. Come around all the way around here, we'll just show you. You can just see from the sort of top, we're just coming down that little path there, and as we come around this way, it might be a bit easier to see. Kind of just step in here for a minute. See, found a lovely ant's nest down there. But you got our steps now. As you can see, if I do this, and again, I'm hoping getting this right. We've got low step, high step, and then we're going to dig out this little area here. So what I'm going to do is continue on digging that out and just show you kind of what that looks like just in this top bit here where the shovel is now. So I've got that top hole started here. You can just see the bucket full. That's sort of the tailings. I'm going to keep those on the side as I might use these to, once again, sort of pull up the liner along the side. Just in here, just to show you. Now you can see one thing to point out when you are making the waterfalls and things is you can see that rock there. That's kind of the slightly proposed area of the second waterfall. Now with that one there, what I need to do now, because of testing it out, that's brought the water level too high. So I need to dig it out a little bit more underneath just so we can get the right level off the top falls as well. So I'm going to get that kind of done and kind of show you what that looks like as well before we add the liner. So to show you here, got the three steps. What we've done is kind of loosely placed the rocks in just to get an idea of water height. Now, looking at it from this one here and this one here, and I'll just come around and show you, you can see it is a little bit higher than it needs to be. What I'll do is actually just get that dug in and just show you what it does when it's at the right level. So just to show you here now, we've got the underlaying liner in. I've reset the sill stones there. Which you can just see. I'm quite liking the way it's coming out at the moment, getting kind of a bit of a turn to come down here. So hopefully it's going to kind of appear like the water's coming behind the tree fern and then coming off here with our lower falls being that rock there. What I'm going to now do is just to kind of give you an idea and show you the foaming side of it. So we're going to go and backfill and foam underneath each of the rocks, just to keep the rocks, the water from going underneath the rock. We want it to kind of stay over the top as much as possible. Using here, this is a Gorilla filler. This one's only £3. You can get the black foam, which I would recommend if you are doing it, because it does help to hide a lot of the foam. But what I'm going to do is use the white foam here, and I'll just show you essentially what you're going to do with it. And I'll just stuff it. We'll do the top one here. You can just see down in here, we're going to do. Putting the bead down there. And what we'll do is just fill any gaps in between the rocks. We just want to stop that water from getting underneath and losing a lot of our flow on that side. So what I'm going to do is just get these all foamed in, and we'll show you what that looks like after. So you can just see here now with the foam added, I've got it all in between all of the cracks. Looks an absolute mess right now, and it certainly will when you're doing it. But not to worry, it does clean up really nicely. And again, what we can do is once it's dry, you can go around and trim off all the excess, and we can use our sort of different rocks and things to kind of hide a lot of that there. But what we've done really, hopefully, is to seal the top, seal this bit, and seal this bit, so that the water's forced to come out over the top of the rocks and give us a nice little cascading waterfall there. Gonna let this dry, and then I'll show you kind of what we're doing with it after. So one thing we can do here, guys, is to take a bit of offliner, our cut of offliner, and you can trim it and just place it on top of here to help sort of seal it as well. So there's a few options you can do. I would generally let it set for about 40 minutes before sort of messing with it too much. But with that said, what I'm going to do is take a couple strips and just place it around some of the backs here, just again to hide some of that foam while we're letting that set in. Show you here, I've started to trim back the liner a little bit. We've tucked it in, left the excess liner just up here and rolled it back under. Again, sometimes it's best to leave about 3 to 4 inches height above your water level, just to ensure you can pull it up, tuck it in where you need to. I've trimmed it back roughly now. As I say, what I'm doing is just waiting for this to firm in. It's nearly there. You know, it's been about an hour and a half, but it just goes to show, you know, within probably the next half an hour, I'll be able to run a hose down it, just to kind of check the water flow and kind of see what we're doing here. Now, one thing I've got as a bit of a hack for you is you can use things like the outdoor spray paints are quite good for covering up things like this. I've got one that's kind of like a rock type spray paint. So I'm going to use that, but of course I'm going to backfill with gravel and all sorts of stuff in here. But just to show you the kind of base level that we've got at the moment. And again, we'll show you the water running down the first time over the 3 sill stones, and of course the rest of it's then decoration after that point. Right, so just going to plug this in now. I'm just using an old pool hose for the moment to bring it up to the top. We're using the Biling 4,500 litre pump for this one. So we're going to be running that straight in the top there, and you see just really roughly laid at the moment. Again, I need it to kind of fully cure before you know, really kind of doing anything else with it, but just to kind of see the water flow, what we'll do is just plug that in now, and you can just see kind of what it looks like initially. All right, so just show you here the kind of flow we're getting off this at the moment. Nice little fall there, a little bit of a falls here. We're getting a decent one at the bottom. I'll just come out to the pond here just to show you it from afar. So just from the front here, as you can see, nice flow of water coming out over that. We'll just zoom in a bit here. Getting a lovely cascade out the bottom, you can just see. Nice little falls up in here, and up at the top there again, you can just see it's coming out quite nicely. So with the flow side of it, I'm actually quite happy with that. I'm going to let it run for about half an hour just to see that it's not coming out the edges anywhere. But for the most part, I think that has a real nice kind of flow on that one at the moment. Just to show you here now, added a few more stones around the sides. As you can see, a bit more gravel into it here. Again, sort of looking up it as we come up. It's going to give us some nice lifts. And what we're doing is just, again, trying to use different size stones just to create a little bit of a kind of ravine that it's going to go through, and eventually going back and tucking in all the liner here. I'm going to add a few more stones before we do our sort of second test, and then get all the liner trimmed up, show you what it looks like at the end here. Alright, so you can just see here now I've got quite a few more stones and rocks added, sort of blending in the top here, as you can see. just got a little bit of pipe coming out there, which we're going to hide with some moss and things. Again, looks a little bit messy. I think when we get some plants and things growing around, draping over into it, it really should look a little bit better. I've got a few plants in here at the moment, just to kind of soften those edges as well. And what we'll do is just kind of show you that running now that it's had a lot of stone added as well. And now you can just see here, sort of running. We've covered most of the sides, planted it up a little bit. And again, I think it's starting to look a little more sort of natural and like it was there. Just come around this side, not to shake you too much. And you can just see now coming down from the top, it does almost again appear that we've got it sort of starting just in the back and then coming down onto this waterfall here. Decent amount of flow on this, and we're quite liking the kind of style of waterfall we're getting. I might do some adjustment on it, but again, you know, for the kind of first setup and first running, I think it's done fairly well. You guys have to let me know in the comments sort of what you think of this particular waterfall setup. Again, if we kind of come around this way, sort of the other angles we were looking at it, again, gives us a nice kind of flow. And what we'll do is just come back here, so you can kind of see the first glimpse, I guess, when you would come through. And now I think it gives it quite a nice effect, good sound as well. Again, going to do some final adjustments on this one, but as you can see here now, you know, I think it's done a pretty good job. Keep you guys updated on any progress with this one. But for now, of course, if you haven't checked out the friends of the channel, they'll be in the comments section below. If there's any kind of hints and tips you'd like, if you're building a waterfall yourself and you'd like a kind of specific one for that, certainly let me know as well. I'll put the product in the comments below that I'm using for this particular waterfall. So it's the Biling 80w corded pump. But with that said, guys, yeah, of course, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.